Hello, skincare professionals. I'm Renee Sorbonne, and today we're dismantling one of the most profitable lies in the skincare industry. A lie that's keeping your acne clients stuck in a painful cycle of worsening skin, damaged barriers, and endless product purchases. The lie that acne demands an all-out war on skin, that we must kill the bacteria and dry up the oil with harsh, aggressive treatments. This lie has built a multi-billion-dollar empire that profits from keeping your client's skin damaged, inflamed, and dependent on the cycle of products that only make things worse. If you've been taught that the answer to acne is to strip, peel, and attack the skin, this video will challenge everything. We're going beyond the surface level symptoms and diving into the cellular science that will permanently transform your client's outcomes. By the end of this video, you will understand exactly why gentle, science-backed approaches are more superior and how you can become the expert who finally breaks the cycle for your clients. Harsh treatments and home care products damage the skin's barrier. In return, a damaged barrier triggers an emergency response, more oil production. It does so in order to try and protect itself. This leads to more inflammation, more breakouts, and the client reaching for even harsher products. Sound familiar? It's the perfect cycle of unknowingly creating the very problem that you are aiming to solve for your clients. But what does the science actually say? Acne is not a disease of too much oil. It's a disease of cellular dysfunction, specifically the dysfunction of our sebocytes, the tiny cellular factories within our sebaceous glands. These glands are not the enemy. They produce sebum, a vital substance packed with antimicrobial peptides and antioxidants. The problem isn't the oil itself, it's that the cellular function producing it has gone absolutely haywire. Harsh treatments don't fix this dysfunction, they actually pour gasoline on the fire. The pilosebaceous unit is the site of response for the inflammatory action of acne. It's not the oil itself that's the problem, but instead the dysfunction within this unit. Sebaceous lipids are crucial for barrier integrity, antimicrobial activity, and for transporting antioxidants. They are essential, not evil. To solve the problem, we have to understand the real origin story of a pimple. It's a complex cellular cascade that involves hormones, sebocytes, keratinocytes, the microbiome, and more. First, sebocyte dysfunction. Under stress from hormones, inflammation, or compromised barrier, sebocytes don't just produce more oil, they produce the wrong kind of oil. This altered sebum is inherently more inflammatory and comedogenic. The sebocyte life cycle of 14 to 20 days involves filling with lipids, and it's the breakdown of these cells' contents that provides the raw materials for sebum. If this process is compromised, the sebum quality will suffer. Second is the abnormal keratinization. At the same time, the cells lining the follicle start sticking together instead of shedding properly. And this isn't just a clogged pore, it's a biological malfunction driven by inflammation and androgen influence. All keratin cells are influenced by androgen from around the ages of 10 to 12, impacting the skin's maturation and potentially leading to this issue of hyperkeratinization. Third, the microbiome reacts, and now we have a follicle filled with sticky sebum and trapped cells. This creates the perfect oxygen-free environment for Cutibacterium acnes to thrive. But C. acnes aren't the villain the industry makes it out to be. It is a normal resident of our skin, and it only becomes a problem when we create this dysfunctional environment for it. C. acnes is an opportunist, not the cause. Their job is actually to convert triglycerides in the sebum into free fatty acid, which contributes to the acidic pH of your acid mantle. However, if these free fatty acids accumulate within the sebaceous gland where the pH is neutral, then they become irritating and trigger an inflammatory response. It's like throwing acid on a wooden table. This irritation, combined with cellular debris from the sebocyte breakdown, attracts white blood cells like neutrophils. These neutrophils release enzymes that further aggravate the inflammatory process and turns a simple comedone into a pustule. This is why inflammation, even if not visibly apparent initially, plays a vital role in the acne evolution. So now that we understand the science, it's obvious that the traditional approach fails. Every harsh treatment creates more cellular stress, more dysfunction, and more inflammation. So a few things. Harsh cleansers. They strip the skin's protective acid mantle and lipids. Many conventional cleansers contain emulsifiers that, yes, while blending oil and water, can continue to emulsify the skin's own protective substances that leads to barrier damage and removes the skin's natural antimicrobial defenses, signals sebocytes to produce even more oil in a panic, and disrupts the pH, worsening that abnormal keratinization. Overexfoliation. Aggressive peels and acids don't just remove dead skin. They remove living cells, creating micro wounds and chronic inflammation. The skin tries to repair itself by speeding up that cell turnover, but this process is chaotic, it's dysfunctional, and it leads to more blockages and poor corneocyte compaction. This results in a reduced stratum corneum cohesion, making the skin even more vulnerable. Next is antimicrobials. These are the most problematic. They are indiscriminate. They wipe out the entire skin microbiome, the good bacteria along with the bad. This disrupts the delicate balance that leads to antibiotic resistance and further imbalances. Trying to kill C. acnes with harsh antimicrobials is like trying to solve the city's garbage problem, in my opinion, by shooting the pigeons. You're targeting the symptom while ignoring the root cause, which is actually the pile of trash itself. The most insidious aspect? They often provide temporary improvement that masks the long-term damage. Yes, you might see temporary reduction in oil and even the lesions, but at the cost of barrier function, cellular health, and long-term stability of the skin. Clients become dependent on increasingly harsh treatments and products while their skin becomes more sensitive, more reactive, more prone to long-term damage. And this is exactly what the acne industry wants. Customers trapped in a vicious cycle of dependency. So, what's the alternative, you ask? How do we treat acne when we understand the cellular science that reject the harsh approach? This is where corneotherapy principles becomes revolutionary in treatment for acne. Corneotherapy for acne focuses on supporting normal cellular function rather than forcing cellular changes. Instead of eliminating oil, we want to support healthy sebocyte function. Instead of killing the bacteria, we want to support a healthy microbiome, and instead of over-exfoliating, we support normal keratinization of the cells. And we manage inflammation by addressing the root causes. The first principle is skin barrier support and repair. A compromised barrier is both a cause and a consequence of acne. By supporting barrier repair, we address the root cause. This means gentle cleansers that support the pH and don't strip lipids, and moisturizers that provide building blocks for repair like ceramides, cholesterol, and fatty acids. We mimic the skin's natural lamellar structure to restore its integrity. Second, supporting normal sebocyte function. We want sebocytes to produce healthy sebum, and this means addressing factors causing dysfunction. This includes hormonal influences. As estheticians, we unfortunately can't directly influence the endocrine system. However, we can impact the 5A reductase type 1 enzyme topically. Ingredients like azelaic acid, vitamin B6, zinc sulfate, and essential fatty acids like linolenic and linoleic acids have been shown to inhibit this enzyme, helping to control DHT-mediated sebum production. Third, the gentle regulation of the keratinization. Instead of harsh acids, we support normal cellular turnover with gentle physiological approaches. Low concentrations of salicylic acid or appropriate retinoids can normalize keratinization without causing inflammation or poor corneocyte compaction. The key is gentle, gradual improvement that supports cellular health. And fourth, microbiome support. Instead of eliminating bacteria, we support a healthy, balanced microbiome that can naturally regulate problematic organisms. This means avoiding disruptive antimicrobial ingredients and focusing on ingredients that foster a healthy skin flora. Finally, inflammation management. We understand that inflammation is a symptom of the underlying cellular dysfunction. By addressing barrier compromise, sebocyte dysfunction, and abnormal keratinization, we naturally reduce the inflammatory cascade. We avoid pro-inflammatory cosmetic ingredients and support the skin's innate immune response. If you are ready to reject the acne industry's lies and master the cellular science approach that gets real results, join our community for serious estheticians committed to truth-telling and excellence. The link is in the description below. Remember, serious stuff for serious estheticians. When we understand acne at a cellular level, and when we address the root causes rather than just suppressing symptoms, then we become professionals who solve problems that others keep making worse unknowingly. Now guys, if you found this video helpful, please comment, like, and subscribe. And last but not least, share. I will see you in the community or back here next week.